we are looking at what is happening in Nigeria and globally. But the major issue we are looking at this morning has to do with the issue of Nigerian police being on red alert over planned nationwide protests. We understand that we have seen a protest in Kenya. Unfortunately, they have turned into riots and they have resulted into wanton destruction of lives and property. In a democratic setting, protest is a legitimate means of the citizens drawing attention of government to their concerns. But when you do that, it has to be through peaceful means. Mr. Paul,
Yes, sir.
I understand that Nigerians are facing hardship.
Yes,
The
sir.
government have been telling us exercise patience. Recently, the government said we are importing about 250,000 metric tons of grains that has to do with rice, beans, and they have made import duty on grains free for a period of 180 days or thereabouts. Do you think Nigerians should cease protest?
Actually, for me, that is a lie coming from the government. Why will they give us 180 days before things will calm down? President Trump says he promised that.
No, no, no. I'm not saying they give this between now and 180 days. Rice are imported, beans are imported, food generally that are imported will be import free to drive down the cost of food. People who are importing it, government will not tax them.
They are just talking with mouth. Until I see it happening, then I will believe it. Because as of now, they will talk and talk and talk, but nothing else will happen. I have to see it first, then I will believe them. Because those people, they really know how to talk. They are very good. They are very good talkative. They can talk in deceiving us, the Nigeria.
Okay, now, Mr. Paul, we are going to look at the hardship proper because and since Sunday here, this is a new telegraph. This is new telegraph. Let me quickly do a rundown of the major headline, Mr. Paul, so I come back to you. He said, hardship, consumers loans surged by 44.98% to 3.82 trillion. And if you go down here, we are seeing something. They say military security agencies must develop human inter networks. That is coming from SDSS directors. Dangote is here again. Dangote conglomerate projects 30 billion US dollar revenue in 2025. Perhaps that may solve our FS scarcity. We are seeing another one here that is talking about local government. It says local governments long walk to financial autonomy. I think, Mr. Paul, let me take you on the issue of protest as well, because the government, no government, we want wanton destructions of life and property.
Yes.
Even as citizens have right to protest against any policy of government or hardship. What do you think will happen in the event that there is a breakout of protest in Nigeria?
It's not going to be a good event. So the earlier the possible is for the government to do the needful thing, which is to make sure that they have making things to calm down. You see, a government. I always tell my friends that governments are people that God has given them the power to make life to be good for her people. But when you come to our country here, most especially in Africa, they have making our life miserable. Government have the power to make life very, very, very affordable, but we are not seeing any affordable life here. So the protest will surely come up, and it's not going to be a good thing for the government because, as it is right now, this country is on its way to split. That's what I'm just seeing. Is on its way to split.
Okay, let us look at issue of insecurity. Understand, Mr. Paul, you are a man from the Middle Belt. You are from Plateau, to be precise. It's a state that has been ravaged by insecurity for so long, particularly the issue that have to do with host community headers clashes. This government have raised the issue of a state police, and it's taking long after the issue came to front burner. The government seem not to be the conversation around it seem not to be loud enough. Do you think the government is serious about state police?
We don't. These our government. They are not serious in any development that will bring a meaningful change in the life of our people. most especially the state police. Not today, we've been talking about that for so long. We expect them by now to have done something that we will see things on ground. Let them execute it. Let them begin to work on it. We don't supposed to be talking about state police by now, because by now we're supposed to see every state is having its own state police, so that they will be able to tackle the insecurity and with the whole thing that has been going on, most especially in the north. And this thing is not going to be in the north. It's going to spray. It's going to spray all across the nation. That's what I'm seeing. If they think that the insecurity is going to be in the north only, they are joking, they are lying. It's going to spray out. The west will experience it. Even the south too, they will all experience it. But the possible solution is to is to is to is, is to see that the state police is working. They should just embark on that. Thank you.
Okay, now we saw an unfortunate issue the other day happened in far away United States of America, where the former president of America, I'm talking about Donald Trump, was someone actually wanted to assassinate him, and as we have it, the boy is a 20 years old boy who their secret service they were able to, according to them, neutralize him, and I think Trump survived the unfortunate shooting. What do you think this will have? What do you think will this actually have effect on global politics, seeing that we are seeing a renewed attempted assassination on people in a place we may call the giant of democracy, the champions of democracy?
Thank you. Mr. Trump assassination, they want to assassinate him because he's a man of the people. He's a truly man of the people, not like unlike us here in Nigeria. They call themselves men of the people while they are not men of the people. They are only men of their family, their friends, and their associates. But Mr. Trump is a person that is trying to see thing is working for America. He wants to make America great. I believe he's a man that when he says he's going to do something, he will do it. He's not like Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a liar. I'm in Nigeria, but I at least I've seen some things that Mr. Trump has been doing in America as of the time when he was a president, and I have experienced what Mr. Joe Biden has been doing right now that he is a president. You know, any person that will come on board is trying to fight his predecessor. I don't think it's a good person. When Joe Biden came on board, he was trying to say, Trump, Trump, this, Trump, that, Trump, this, Trump. Instead of focusing of making the life of America great, he was focusing on Trump, and that has making him to go way back. And the tax is higher, and everything is skyrocketing. But Mr. Trump is a person, when he says something, he promised and he will do it. He's telling America he will cut down the tax, and he will make sure that the price of oil, the price of gas will cut it short for them. You can see he said in a day one he would do that thing. Just as Mr. Tinubu in a day one he just brought up he brought the subsidy up, which we are not expecting that. But Trump is going to bring it down. So that is a good leader, and America love Mr. Trump. They understood who Trump he is now, because they used to think that the guy is a racist. But honestly speaking, you need to know who Trump is. It's not a racism. He loves black people. He wants black people to develop their country. That's just the fact.
Okay, now, Mr. Paul, let's go look at another area. This time around, it's talking about um, right abuse. It's a concern mount over upsurge in right abuse. He said lawyers seek legal reform to curtail abuse. But the point I want to raise here, we understand that before we saw the issue of NSAS, it had to do with right abuse, police brutality, particularly the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. I'm talking about SARS. And more than 2-3 years after that protest, and we saw different panels across the country trying to come out with fact finding on how people could be compensated if they were actually right abuses. And we saw so much of revelations on how police abuse the right of Nigerians. Now, more than 2-3 years after that issue, we are seeing concern about right abuse. Does it mean we didn't learn anything from that protest?
Yes, you know, in this country, uh, the top elite, the top governments who are ruling this country, they will never want to see people protesting. They will never want to see people owning what belongs to them, having the right to protest, having the right to stand and fight for justice, fight for tranquility. They don't want that to happen. They only want to depress you. They only want to humiliate you. They only want your life to be a mess, and they want you to keep quiet. You know, it's as if they beat you and they are telling you not to cry. That will not happen. There is time for everything. If they think that our right is not going to surely come to us 100%, they are lying, whether they like it or not, because day by day they are giving birth, and day by day we are increasing in knowledge. Day by day we are understanding their plan, we are understanding what they are doing, because they are not leaders, they are just there to share money for themselves. Until we see them doing the proper thing, then we will stop to protest. But as of it, as it is right now, we have to protest, and we will never stop to protest. I myself personally, I am not seeing any protest. I want this country to come out. Some people are telling me, Paul, don't you know that they will kill you? I said to them, if I die, it's better I die fighting to see that thing is working good than for me to just go and sleep and someone will just come from nowhere and kill me. Because if I fight and if I win, then this country will work. But if I'm not able to fight, then someone will come and kill me. You see, that's 2-0. That's 2-0. I did not fight and someone come and kill me. 2-0. But if I fight and if I die, I believe that my blood will even speak, and my blood will even hurt those people that are killing us. That's what I believe.
I think, Mr. Paul, I must say a very big thank you for your time. I think this is a good place to let you go. We hope to have you some other time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chinedu Michael, the ranking senior citizen of Nigeria, you are welcome to this program. You are welcome, you are welcome, you are welcome. Let us have a renowned political affairs analyst in the person of Chinedu Michael. Mr. Chinedu Michael, as you come in, I want to take you on concerns about particularly government officials with planned protests. They say they are in panic mode. We understand that in a democracy, the right of citizens, the citizens have right of protest to draw the attention of government to any area where they are not satisfied with government policies and programs. And perhaps, as we have it in Nigeria currently, hardship is no longer a secret that we have an issue of hardship. But again, the why people go on protest is supposed to be within the ambit of the law, violent, free. I don't think anybody will want a repeat of Kenya in Nigeria. But how do you think the government can avert even peaceful protests in Nigeria as it stands?
I think they need to let the people be, let the youth do what they want to do. There's apathy, citizens' apathy already in the land, loss of interest, and anything that has to do with the way and manner government are running the affairs of this country, and the Nigerians, especially the youth, are not seeing themselves in the Nigerian picture. They're not seeing themselves in the Nigerian mirror. They're not being represented the way they are supposed to be represented, being citizens, part of this country. So it has continued like that for some time now, and it has created deep reservations, negative reservations that people are beginning to see that if we don't move, nothing will move for us. So that's the reason why this kind of thing is coming up, and it's going to come. For me, I'm looking at it from two dimensions, where we are going to automatically have something that will look like a revolution in disguise, and a revelation also at some point in time, considering the fact that when you look at what they are talking about now, hashtag bad government, hashtag end bad government, what is really bad in the government? So, but the APC team, media personalities are looking at it that if it's going to come from a section of the country, it has a political motive, and government will not want to look at it to be a normal protest. People agitating for government reverse to some policies that has brought so much hardship on them. Then, secondly, the context there is, if it is going, the revelation there is hunger. Hunger has pushed people to a point, where they can no longer stay, and watch their families and their loved ones, crippled in abject poverty. Then the other angle of it is what is going to, ignite the revolution in it, and that is the bad government. So we have the revelation, which is hunger, and the hunger might likely lead to revolution. So it's left for the government now to look at it from different perspectives and know what to do. It's not they're not going to stop it. And if they try to use force, it will now it might boomerang, or it might metamorphose to something that Nigerian government cannot be able to handle. Let them forget that they feel that they have a security network on their side they can use to stop any form of rally or protest. But remember that those people who are also involved, they are trying to use against the Nigerian citizens, might likely, at the end of the day, turn against the government themselves. If they discover that, that the masses themselves are actually resolute in trying to get things done in a normal way, and government will find it very difficult. And you cannot rule that out anyway. People, unscrupulous elements coming in, to cash in on the protest. Maybe trying to create a kind of impression, that it is not peaceful. It's the right of the citizens to do that. It's been acknowledged all over the world. But they should be careful to stop anything that will lead to protest at this point in time, because it might likely lead to revolution. That's the fear most people are having. That's the fear, as I'm talking to you, that is being entertained currently now in Asurok. But if you look at the way some of them APC bigwigs has come out to interpret it, they're looking at it that because of the seeming reservation the northern Nigeria is having on this administration, not only, or even in the eastern part of the country, they are still having reservations. How come Southwest be having almost 10 to 11 senators, ministers, the other regions are having, and the Southeast is only having only 5? You can see the continuous injustice, in the scheme of things in this country, So it's not a matter of whether and the manner of which they are going to come up with any form of plan, to quell the what is going to come. It must surely come, and it can get to a point, the government themselves might be disappointed when the security personnel or any form of anti-riot comes up and failed in that regard. That will bring another kind of disaster. The only thing is that they shall allow the people do what they want to do while they carry out policies, reforms, that can transform the economy of Nigeria, as a country. And the citizens, the youth, can be able to see, the direction of which government is going. As I'm talking to you now, Nigeria is completely headless. Nobody can tell you, nobody can say this is the direction this country is going. For how many years? It's regrettable, and until there is a mass resistance from the masses. Of course, there can be likened to be people's movement. At the end of the day, they will continue, to rubbish the leadership that are supposed to be responsible and be responsive at the same time.
Okay, now let us look at, of course, this is a new telegraph. Let us look at what is happening in the United States of America after that attempted assassination of the former president of America. I'm talking about Donald Trump. Trump is saying Trump calls on Americans to stand united after assassination attempt. We understand that a 20-year-old boy, American, attempted to assassinate Trump himself, and in the process, he was neutralized by Secret Service. What do you think this means for America that is seen as champion of democracy, and what does it mean for the world politics and democracy generally?
I think to a form of social radicalization, that is what led to that attack on the most powerful. Of course, I will not say it's the most, because it's not just the former most powerful president in the world. But from the gathering so far, they said that people has already informed the police even before the shooting, when they noticed that a particular object was climbing a building, with a gun in hand. So they quickly inform the police. So police was already on the trail of crooks, or that's the name of the boy. That's what they call him, crooks. It's about 20 years old, from Pennsylvania, and also a registered member of a Republican Party. We know that the Republican Party was formed by the Black Americans as at that time. So you discover that this white boy, might have been socially radicalized, to an extent, because if you look at the FBI findings and all that, there's no form of Islamic doctrine, how will I undertone, or how would I put it, in any form. So a lot of experts, a lot of analysts are looking at it that this is a boy that was socially radicalized, as a result of a certain lifestyle. So the one the residents now informed the police of a certain object that is trying to climb a particular building, possibly to take a position. The police was already on his trail. That's the America for you. Because they say within that proximity, the president of the United States of America was already making a speech, when the bullets start dropping, and you can see that the American Security Service are well trained to the extent they know what to do in a situation like that. The first thing Trump did was, to go down. They pushed him down. Trump was pushed down. On the process, the bullet missed him by whiskers. So it tells you that, and within 5 minutes or thereabout, they brought the boy down completely. That's tell you that to tell you what America is like. Is the number one security police of the world. Let me put it that way. Number one police of the world. And this is the third or the fourth assassination attempt on any American president. Though Trump is a former president, though likely he's going to pick the day. But you can see that that incident has already been condemned all over the world and has made him more popular, and at the same time, has given him, multiple sympathy vote likely that's going to come up by November, when the Americans are going to go to the pool to decide. Like what happened to Robert F. Kennedy at that time. The first American president that was assassinated. I think at a point the American security agent decided that on no account, whether by omission or by commission, can anybody, any being, anybody, assassinate American president. And since that time, they only made the close attempt, apart from John F. Kennedy, but nobody can be able to, bring down American president in that regard.
Okay, now let us look at another issue. You're saying military, security agencies develop human interest network. That's coming from SDSS directors. You understand that security is a major issue in Nigeria, and if you look at the issue of food scarcity, food inflation, it's somehow linked to insecurity. Because personally, I had interaction with someone from Benue who said he buy rice, beans, name it, food from Lagos, and sent to his family in Benue. According to him, the family have been in IDP camp for over 8 years, and this is as a result of herders sacking people from their farming communities. Do you think we are getting it right? Because in Nigeria, we have the DSS that is saddled with responsibility for intelligence gathering locally. We have the National Intelligence Agency that gathers intelligence globally. Even as the police, we have a surveillance part of police that hibernate with the community, the society, without their consent, without knowing that they are there. And we have money being voted into all these areas. Where do you think we are getting it wrong in terms of intelligence gathering, combating crime and others?
Yes, I must give kudos to satellite media for this outing always, and I must celebrate satellite media for bringing this platform live all over the world. We are people from diverse tribe and region will be able to have access to developments, around themselves. And of course, where we are centering on Africa and of course Nigeria. I believe that security is the responsibility of everybody. But in terms of the kind of nature of insecurity in Nigeria, it was intentionally created by the system. The insecurity Nigerians are facing, was created by Nigerian government themselves, and they must take responsibility of that. Because if you look at factors that engineer, that gave rise to insecurity is as a result of government failure and to take up responsibilities. You understand? To highlight and be able to look at things from different perspectives and say, okay, this is what we need to do, or we should do this, or we should do that. Because see, we are human beings and we are not the same. There are some people that are not comfortable with where they are. There are so much jealousy. There are so much malpractice. There's so much corruption in the country.
No, permit me to jump in here, Mr. Chinedu Michael, because why I'm bringing this angle is some people have alleged, will I say allegation, or some people have come up with insinuation that the reason we see consistent, persistent agitation for the sovereign state of Biafra is somehow tied to the level of insecurity we have in the country.
No, it's not really. What is tied to Biafra is beyond that.
That could it be one of the factors?
I don't think that what the kind of security they are talking about now, insecurity they are talking about now, should be the reason why has been Biafran agitation consistently without backing down. I don't think that is a sort of insecurity. What is triggering the continual, even the spirit of the unborn, the Mother Earth, as I'm talking to you today, is still discussing and believing on the restoration that carries hope. See, Biafran agitation is as a result of deep reservation against a particular tribe. They always make references to 1967 coup led by Kaduna Chukwumansogo. But subsequently, we have similar coups in Nigeria where Buhari was involved, IBB was involved, Abacha was involved. No, but nobody came out to tell you that it's an Igbo coup or it's an Hausa coup. So that reservation and that sentiment, it's just like you're an elephant and you're matching a tail of a mouse. And
the elephant had the capacity to crush the mouse.
No, the tail of the mouse, elephant match it, and you are there, and you are seeing it, and you never said anything. For you to have not said anything means that you are also an oppressor. Nigerians, the Yorubas and Hausas are watching the oppression being meted on Igbos for so long, and they are smiling and they are laughing.
So you are giving a broader view of.
I'm telling you, they stepped on them as they oppressed them to an extent. That's what I'm telling you. The elephant and the mouse. The elephant steps on the tail of the mouse, and everybody is there clapping, laughing, celebrating.
Nobody seems to come to the willing to come to the aid of the mouse.
No, because you see, those ones that are clapping, applauding it, are also oppressors. So in that kind of atmosphere, will you tell me that at the end of the day, the mouse find his way out and you will not react? That is the picture Biafrans is having about Nigeria, and it has continued unstoppable, deliberately. That to an extent, a pregnant, the unborn child is still feeling that even in his mother's belly, that this thing called Biafra, if they don't get it now, I will get it.
Mr. Chinedu, I think if you have time, I'll bring you back, because I know you can go on. I know what you stand for. I know who you are. You are a ranking citizen of this country, and a renowned political affairs analyst for that matter.
Keep on watching satellite media. Every morning we give you reviews, on developments, and keep on watching. Keep a date. Always keep a date with satellite media.
Let me have the political juggernaut himself, and talking about Mr. David. Mr. David, there is a panic mood this time around on the part of Nigerian government officials. Remember that recently we have seen a breakout of protests in Kenya that resulted into wanton destruction of lives and property. It is already a riot situation. We understand that the right to protest is citizens' rights, but it does not give you the opportunity or right to resort into violence and destruction of lives and property. Just as Nigerians have right to protest I don't think anybody will want a repeat of Kenya in Nigeria, because what we are seeing on the Daily Post is saying that panic in Nigeria over plan nationwide protests. Do you think Nigerians, if they go on protest, the government will not use brutal force to stop them?
Thank you for that wonderful question from the anchor. And it's good to always be on this platform, a wonderful platform where you can air your views and then contribute to national issues. Now, one thing I want to say is that the government of the day are not being sincere with our people, and the people themselves are not being sincere, because we shouldn't have waited to things to have deteriorated to this level before every Nigerians come out and air their views, before every Nigerians come out and speak. Now, on the other hand, the government of the day are also scared of people, because just like Kenyan protest has become an eye opener to everyone, whereby the people now know that is that is it's now very obvious that these men are our servants. We are not their servants. They are there to serve us, because but Nigeria reverse is the case. You see a lawmaker speaking to people that gave him the mandate to go and serve him, if he does not regard them. So in this part of the world, we become slave to them. So the plan protest, the government of the day, if the government of the day have done the needful, nobody will come out and say there should be no protest. Sorry, nobody will come out and start chanting for protest if the government have done the needful. If government have if government have put everything in place, have put checks and balance, if the price of commodities is is not on a very high side, if Nigerians can wake up and then afford social and then feel the impact of government, if there are social infrastructures and then social amenities, Nigerians will be so happy. But rather, government have turned deaf ears, government have refused to listen to the cry and the plight of the common man. So what do they expect? Let me say this in vernacular. Pikin wey say im papa no go sleep, im sef no go sleep. The government that say the poor masses will not sleep, such government will not sleep, and people would always come out to resist impunity in the society. There is so much impunity in the society. We've seen Nigerians are crying, Nigerians are lamenting of hunger, poverty and hardship. The government of the day is rather bent on purchasing a new aircraft. Is that the priority of a good government? If that is that how Tinubu set to raise the standard of governance in Nigeria? Nigerians are homeless. Nigerians, there's inflation in the land. The presidency built 21 billion, renovated the house of the vice president with over 21 billion. So you see, one thing I would say is that, see, on the other hand, Nigerians too, we are coward, because the fear of coming out to protest has 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 made the government become lord over us, because that is why the government will just come out with silly policies, anti human policies, and then Nigerians will say, yeah, with God on our side we can live. How long can we continue in such a manner? With God on our side, these men are our oppressors. Let us fight them. Let us tell them the truth. I am not fighting them. Does not mean we should go about carrying guns, carrying ammunition.
So we should do it within the ambits of
Let
the law.
us do it within the ambit of the law. Constitutional protest, a peaceful protest whereby we will go out and air our grievances, not destroying public
Government property.
government properties. I condemn that. But if you come and say, government, this policy you've done is not wrong, it is wrong. Just of we said, the government of the day increased tariff in the power sector without consulting the people who ought to pay for it. It doesn't work that way. We don't live in jungle. Yeah, we're not in a jungle. Yeah, you just wake up one day and then you feel you can easily just hike tariff without consulting the people, the major stakeholders. I felt Tinubu knows about governance, but Tinubu he knows something about governance. He knows something about governance. It's even worse than that, worse off than Buhari. Now Dangote is saying he cannot get crude oil from the NNPC.
You the area, because of the area you dive into, Mr. David. Because before now, everybody felt Dangote refinery is going to be a game changer for Nigeria
It is
economy.
not. It is not.
But surprisingly, may even go and import crude
From Brazil.
from Brazil.
I saw the news.
What does it mean for Nigeria that is a major oil producer? When I mean major oil producer, I'm talking about crude.
It is so worrisome that in this sense that now even if NNPC have come out to say that see they've sold they've reached terms and agreement, sorry, they've signed an agreement to sell crude oil to their partners, that see they cannot bring Dangote into the scheme. They should understand that at least bringing Dangote into the scheme, it will benefit the common man on the streets. These are local so that this Dangote refinery would at least not put pressure on the FX.
Mr. David, okay.
And then see, but also because this inflation we have today is as a result of this FX. The pressure is too much on the FX. So now NNPC is saying they've that crude will not be available for to Dangote for now. That should, if it's bent, if it takes them to cut ties with the international partners, let them do it and make crude oil available to Dangote. And now lastly, before I take my leave, Ali Ndume said the president has caged himself, has fed himself of the people. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should understand.
To remove the fence or what?
He should understand that when he was campaigning, when he was going about every looks and chronics of Nigeria, there was no fence.
Okay, now he should put down the fence.
There was no fence to the people. There was no barrier. He could easily access the people. One thing people in government feel that after you, Nigeria will remain. After that individual, the same Tinubu who was going to Abeokuta, going to everywhere, he was accessible. Now he is not the president of the country. He can no longer be accessible. If you like, 2026, 2027, 2027, if this continue like this, if Tinubu wins elections, I know Nigerians are stupid. Sorry, Nigerians don't want a good life for themselves. If by 2027 things still remain like this and Nigerians still go to the polling unit and vote Tinubu, that means Nigerians should leave. Nigerians are happy with their oppressors. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. I'm bringing in a security expert to help us demystify the issues surrounding security issues in Nigeria. Mr. Lucky, we are looking at security implications should Nigerians go out to protest. There is, from what we are seeing, it's a hardship protest, government officials in panic mode because of planned nationwide protests. Mr. Lucky, we know what happened during NSAS. Unfortunately, there were wanton destructions of life and property. We know what is happening in Kenya, or rather what has happened in Kenya, wanton destruction of lives and property. We know that right of protest is right of citizens, but that right does not permit you to start destroying lives and property. Mr. Lucky, in the event that a protest breaks out in Nigeria, what are the security implications?
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. I know both of you who are watching us live. Yes, a protest is allowed all over the world, and Nigeria cannot close their eye and say they don't know what is happening. Mostly the government, and there was protest in every government that emerged in Nigeria during Abacha time, Babangida time, Yar'Adua time, Goodluck time, Buhari time. So many times there was protest. It's just because the weather is so dark. Mm. And, there was protest. So I don't know why the government well always. I think it's better like this. It's better like this. Why? Yeah, it's okay like this. It's clear. I can see myself very clear. I believe it, my viewer, our
Continue,
viewers.
continue, Mr. Loki.
So now, why the government is afraid is that what happened in Kenya is they are afraid of it. What always bring violence in protest is whereby when the people are coming out to protest and the police supposed to be the people that are supposed to protect the people. And if the police keep shooting the people who they're supposed to protest, what they expect the people to do, they will react. I am telling you now, every of Nigeria have tired of this government, have tired of this government. They are angry, they are hungry. So a hungry man doesn't know about what they call bullet. So if you shoot any one of the protesters, automatically you are giving room to anarchy. So the boys will retaliate back. That will happen to NSAS. Remember what the police were doing during NSAS, killing innocent people, and the people resort. And don't forget, the people are the one paying the police, the agency, even the president, the people's money. They suffer. They brought the work, farm, everything, pay taxes, and government collected and eat it free, and you are still killing them. So what do you expect them to do? So for my own advice is that if they come out, let the police be civil. Let the police protect them. You see, they are not going to be violent. But another problem is that sometimes government resilient to listen to the yearnings of the people, listen to what people are asking for. They believe that after 2 days, 3 days, they will go and sit down. They will not continue protesting. So for me, I expect the government to protect them and give them what they need. What do they need? They are telling you they are hungry. Give them food. You see, this protest will stop. And make sure house rent is being less, petrol, so many things they are asking for. So not decreasing money per se to labor. Labor are fighting for their own selfishness. So for me, government should protect the protester.
I think I should let you go, Mr. Loki. Thank you very much.
No, I'm not going to go.
Okay.
The food things government are saying, importation of food.
Okay. Let me even take it to that area because the government is saying between now and 180 days time, we are going to make import free any grain, maybe rice, beans, and all that. And they say on their own part, they are going to be importing about 250 metric tons of rice, beans, and other grains. Do you think this will solve Nigerian food
I
crisis?
want to thank the president for that. It's a good thing. Nigerians are happy about that. But the additional coming out from a Minister of Agriculture saying that it's not good for them to import food. I want to ask him, during his tenure, he was the agriculture minister. Jonathan was still importing almost about 10%, 20% that time. That's why you see the food inflation did not occur. So for him telling us, Adochino has money, is holding a very big post in under, I don't know whether what bank,
African Development Bank.
Bank. He has money, he have stored food in his house. All the family is not hungry. The additional, please stay where you are. Don't come and tell our policy. Have you ever tell our president that he should make sure that they should not import fuel? They should repair our refinery. Has you done that? Why are you telling our government, let them vote? You see, 99% of Nigeria say prostration should come in. So please, additional, those who are telling president that the policy is not good, you are anti-Nigeria. Please stop that. Allow that food to come in. Let us eat, for we can even see anybody's face. If not so, election will not hold. Any election, people are
Now,
hungry.
Mr. Loki, there is one question I want to ask you. You know, Ndume has said Tinubu is have caged himself. Some people are saying that maybe in 2026, in build up to 2027 presidential general election, that Tinubu may decide to remove that fence. Do you think he's going to remove that
It
fence?
should either close or remove. Tinubu is too old because what I'm saying is not. I don't think a president should be able to move to a place you gave contract to a contractor to see whether the money you pay, how many places has it gone, how many places. Just stay in Aso Rock, you only travel to go arrest. So it's very, very wrong. So for me, I think Udume is right. President should come out the way he campaign, go around and let the people see you. Let them know you are strong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Loke Haguna. I don't know Lagos. Let me do a brief analysis of what we just discussed, particularly the issue of protest. Let us understand that the citizens have right of protest because as it stands, we have seen what is happening in Kenya. Nobody wants a repeat of Kenya in Nigeria. We saw what transpired during NSAS, a situation where we saw wanton destructions of lives and property. Nobody wants to see that experience. But again, let us speak directly to the government because before people start protesting, we have the issue of hardship. And this hardship is occasioned by government policy. Another area that the government need to urgently give a priority attention has to do with the issue of insecurity, particularly in the farming communities where Fulani herders have allegedly chased away farmers from their farmlands. I'm talking about places in Benue, some places in Delta, some places in Plateau and all that, Southern Kaduna and all that. And if you go to Delta State, I'm talking about the Car South and the Car Northeast. There are some communities in those areas where the Fulani herders have is wreaking havoc, chasing farmers away, and these things are not helping any situation. For me, I think what the government need to do is to fight insecurity and bring the society, every inch of Nigerian society, into a peace environment. Because if you look at it, the government had the mandate to protect life and property, and the constitution is unambiguous about it. To the extent that the constitution says the welfare of Nigerians and their security shall be the primary purpose of governance. To that extent, if the government is protecting lives and property, I must say it here that the government is not doing anybody any favor. Rather, it behoves of the government to protect lives and property. To that extent, I encourage government to go all out and protect Nigerians and their property. Because however I look at it, Nigerians cannot be dying in their number because of insecurity. And government, as a government, the government is supposed to have monopoly of coercive power. But unfortunately, Nigerian government is sharing that monopoly of coercive power with some non-state actors. Whether you call it the southeast part of the country, you call it whether you go to the middle belt, a place like Benue, Taraba, and all that. Mr. Nii, can we have you? Mr. Nii, you are welcome to this program.
Thank you for having me.
And take you straight to the crux of the matter. In Nigeria, they say government officials are in panic mode over planned nationwide protests. We are seeing what is happening in Kenya, or rather what happened in Kenya. I don't think anybody will want a bit of that in Nigeria. I equally understand that as citizens, we deserve right of peaceful protest. But that does not give anyone permit to start destroying lives and property like what we witnessed during NSAS. Where do you think we need to strike the balance so that we don't see Nigerians on the streets?
Nigerians need to hit the streets. It is non-negotiable. It is inevitable. Nigerians must go out, demand for good governance. Let me tell you, in the last 57 hours, where we saw an attempt assassination on the life of Donald Trump, the Americans have been on the streets demanding for the resignation of the chief of SSS. That is what we call active citizenship. EFCC has been molesting, they've been harassing Nigerians. In the last 1 year, we have seen how EFCC carry out sting operations. Just recent times, they went to an hotel in Ojo, whereby they have to see where they maltreated a lady. They were in Ondo State, they used sneaker stick to wipe people's butt. And some ladies, about 10 of them, they were beating on their buttocks. But Nigerians are so quiet, we are so docile. Listen, nothing on earth will stop the Nigerian people from hitting the streets. Why? Because this must set a precedence. Let me tell you, a democracy will not be a democracy if the people are not active. It is not negotiable. In a working democracy, the people cannot be quiet.
Now, how do we strike the balance so that we don't see a repeat of NSAS?
Let me tell you.
I'm talking about one-time destruction of life and property.
We are already seeing the hands of the ruling class as of now, how they are running a campaign against this upcoming protest. We can see them, they are planning what we call counter protests. We can see them, they are already spreading narrative that if anything happen to your business, the person you should hold accountable is Omoyele Sowore. And meanwhile, what is this guy calling for? We are calling for a revolution for good governance. We are calling for a revolution to seek for end to insecurity. Now, is that too much to ask? The question is, why is the government not doing this? Instead, they are what? They are playing the ostrich. The government is playing the ostrich. You are underperforming. You are telling us not to complain. You are beating us. You are telling us this is how to cry. You are robbing us. You are telling us to keep what? Contributing into that armory or into that vault where you keep looting our funds. Who does that?
But Mr. Ali, let me bring in this angle because the government recently said import duty free on grains, rice, beans. They said on their own part they will be importing about 250 metric tons of rice, beans, and some other grains. Don't you think Nigerians should allow this policy to see whether it will solve the problem?
Okay, this same government that told you that they were going to cultivate 100,000 hectares of land. Have that been done? Has that been done? They told you that they were going to roll out CNG buses. Has that been done? They told you that they were going to give 1 billion to 75 selected big firms, big companies. Has that been done? They told you they were going to ensure that unemployment is cut down. Has that been done? They told you they were going to do what? Empower youth.
So are you saying that all room for benefit of doubt have been exhausted?
Of course. Nigerians have been so patient. Let me tell you, in a working democracy, the citizens are impatient. In a working democracy, the 001 is not the president. The 001 are the people. In a working democracy, the people will have no room for excuse. In a working democracy, the people are very impatient and they are very aggressive with their lives, with policies. Why do you think there's controversy in Kenya today? It is not because they were a subsidy. It was not because maybe their currency was floated. It wasn't because they were suffering abysmal bad governance. It is simply because of a finance bill, a policy. Nigerians did not speak a word when subsidy was taken out. Nigeria did not say anything when dollar was floated. That is to show you the level of education, the level of ignorance and arrogance we have as a people. And the government has enjoyed that for too long. Now the government had an opportunity. They have had almost 14 months to ratify and rectify the lapses, the lacuna, the backfall, the shortfall they have had or they have created when they floated the currency. Let me tell you, immediately they floated the currency. If they have gone to the farm to plant tomatoes, we would have at least cultivated 3 seasons, 3 cycles. Tomato, it's been harvested in 90 days. Corn, the same thing. Rice, the same thing. Millet, the same thing. Beans, almost the same thing. Pepper, almost the same thing. Yam, we would have cultivated yam 2 circles. If farm had actually gone to the farm as they promised us, they said they were going to go to farm when they floated the currencies, when they when they removed the fuel subsidy. Did they do that? Now you are telling me you want to import. Now when you are importing, what's going to happen to the unemployed youth? The unemployed youth are going to get what? Bigger. The capitalists will keep on what? Oppressing the poor.
Now, Mr.
Because
Lee,
only the few
let
will
me ask
have
this
license to import, and those who have the license to import, at the end of the day, will impoverish the people because they will set the price. Because government are not the one that will import.
Let me ask this question. Should the event of a breakout of protests as people are expecting, how do you think as a people, as a government, we need to balance it so that we don't see wanton destruction of lives and property?
Let me use Kenya as a case study. The only reason that why the Kenyans broke out into violence was because the government were the first people who shot at the protesters. Don't forget. The Kenyans were holding their peaceful protest, demanding for good governance, rejecting the devilish IMF inflicted finance bill. But again, the police people were the one that shot the first bullets. Now, in Nigeria today, the Nigerians don't want to kill them. They don't want to get themselves killed. Neither do they want to have themselves, their life cut short. So the Nigerian people are not going out there to cause any violence. However, the government are planning counter protests. Do you know what it means by counter protest?
Of course
They
I
will
do.
do everything to thwart the well intention, the good intentions of the people. They are going to come out with three strategies, thinking that Tinubu is doing well. Secondly, ensuring that they infiltrate the people's protests. And then thirdly, using the police to provocate the people. So you know what I mean. The police can go out there, control the protests. When the people are doing what they are not supposed to do, they're supposed to use tear gas and then water cannons, not using live bullets. But the police will be the first person that will shoot them or sponsor thugs. So we must understand that the Nigerian people are not out there with that intention that they want to go and destroy anybody's properties. No.
Now, how can the protesters beat police in their game in the event that the police want to take advantage of the situation and perhaps cause violence and turn around to accuse the protesters?
How can the what? How can the protesters?
How can the protesters beat the police in their own game to forestall police possibly destructing the protests?
It is simple. The protesters need to be well organized. There has to be a collaboration with international bodies. And thankfully, we have all platforms of live streaming. Okay, you can see that the guy who shot at Trump wasn't captured by the mainstream media. That guy was captured by passerbys, by people who were just around, videoing events of things. So the people must, with every on every second, capture the event of things. Most especially, those things must be live and they must be streamed online. Okay?
So they should be live streaming on almost all
Definitely,
social media.
all the proceedings must be streamed. Record, because let me tell you, the mainstream media has been censored and they are being controlled by the government. If any sin is being captured by the mainstream, they will cut it off. They will cut it off, and people will not know the truth. It is when the people who are independent media persons, like person like you and I, if we go to that protest, we capture everything for people to see. And if anything funny wants to happen, we will be the first reporters.
So news in Nigeria have to be live on.
Of course, news in Nigeria will be there. Your own platform also will be there.
Yes, Nigeria satellite media.
Yeah, satellite media. It is pertinent.
So that is our own role.
We cannot be missing. This is the only way we will support our country, our youth who are demanding for good governance. My channel will be there. News in Nigeria TV will be there. Your channel,
So
satellite media, will be there. Because when we are missed, whatever information that is passed would have been censored, would have been filtered. And that is not our purpose. Our purpose is to let our people in diaspora or those who are in Nigeria who are no longer believers of the mainstream media, to have what we call unfiltered information. They have to get it raw. And when we take that to international communities, we take that to the International Criminal Court of Justice, we have a say. Let me tell you, Tinubu, who is on seat today, was a menace on the flesh on the military juntas. He sponsored what's it called? Nadeco. In fact, he was a major revolutionary. However, he has stated the seat of power, and that has consumed him. And we, the people, must always understand that this country belongs to us. It belongs to our unborn children. It belongs to our wife. It belongs to our family. And we must fight for our native land. Because Tinubu, how many years does he have? Tinubu is fighting for his own personal interest. His child will never know suffer anymore. If Tinubu resigned today, I tell you, for 100 years, I might not be as rich as him. You might not be as rich as him, because of what he has garnered, because of what he has amassed. He's still being pensioned as the Lagos State government. When he leaves the seat of power as the president, he will be paid the pension. So what I was saying, why our leaders, why are they not selfless? It is because we the people are not talking. It is because we the people, we have this high tolerance for nonsense. It is not resilience. I call it gullibility. When you have high tolerance for nonsense, it is not resilience. Once again, I call it what? Naivety and gullibility and the height of stupidity. Enough is enough, Nigerians. Let us wake up. Let us join the protest. It is a peaceful protest. I tell you, we are not going out there to destroy anybody's properties. The government are only trying to emotionally blackmail us, using that statement that they've always used from time immemorial to deter us, to capture us, to make us docile. But we say no. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nee. I think let us do a recap. This is satellite media. We understand just as Nigerians are perhaps warming up for a peaceful protest. We don't hope to have a repeat of Kenya situation and a repeat of what transpired in Nigeria during the EndSARS protest. But let the government know that it behoves on them to protect lives and property, and that when they do that, they are not doing anybody any good. It's a constitutional mandate that behoves on government to do, because the constitution is unambiguous about that, to the extent that the constitution says that the welfare of Nigerians and their security shall be the primary purpose of governance. So the government should make haste, protect the people, and address the issue of food insecurity. Because we understand that the government has said they will be importing about 250,000 metric tons of rice, beans, and some other grains, and they have made import duty on some grains free for a period of a window of 180 days or so. But the issue is Nigerians are hungry. Nigerians are dying as a result of hunger. Nigerians are worried that if something urgent is not done, the situation may get worse. So the way it stands, the insecurity in Benue needs priority attention. The insecurity in some part of Delta needs priority attention. The insecurity in some part of southwestern part of the country equally needs priority attention. So the government should realize that as a government, you need to have monopoly of coercive power. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, we are seeing a situation where Nigerian government is sharing that monopoly of coercive power with some non-state actors. We are seeing it in different parts of the country, whether in the southeastern part of the country, whether in the southwestern part of the country, whether in the middle belt. Almost every part of the country, you see non-state actors holding territories, if not holding territories, significantly engaging security agencies to the extent that the lives of citizens are not safe. So until government got to the point where they can protect lives and property and unchallenged by non-state actors, Nigerians will continue to demand for good governance. Thank you very much, our esteemed viewers. I say a very big thank you for our viewers who engage us on the comment section, and all our viewers who have been following us, who have been watching us live. I say a very big thank you. Until come your way again, I say remain blessed. I am Mr. Matthew, and this is Satellite Media.